A Knight's Tale is an awesome Heath Ledger classic film, and it's one that I have always connected to, so I'm super excited to dig deep into it. Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durbin, and this is my theological analysis for A Knight's Tale. This is a movie that has stuck with me for a long time. It's fun, it's simple, I like it. Heath Ledger does a great job, but really the heart of this movie is what resonates with me. And when I watch this movie, the heart that I see in the movie is this: an amazing picture of what faith looks like and what it looks like to put action to that faith and to live it out. And namely this aspect of faith: what you believe about yourself. There's a verse in the Bible that says, as a man believes in his heart, so he is. And it's a very powerful verse and a very true verse, and it works really well for this movie because this takes place in medieval times, and there's this whole blanket thought process over society that the royals are born royals, the nobles are born nobles. If you're a commoner, then you're a nothing and a nobody, and that's what you will be the entirety of your life. But little Will as a child doesn't believe that. And as he's watching the knights come in on a parade, he just says, one day I'll be a knight. So of course, there's already somebody there in the stocks laughing at him like, oh, you might as well try to change the stars. And his father, John Thatcher, looks at him and says, Will, a man can change his stars. And if he believes enough, he can do anything. And I love that because that so resonates with what Jesus said to this father who was hurting because his son was demonically possessed. And he said, if you can do something, please help. And Jesus said, if you can, everything is possible to those who believe. So that line totally resonates with me in this movie. In fact, John Thatcher so believes in Will and so believes in Will's vision that he nurtures it. He nurtures that faith and even gets Will to be a squire for Sir Ector, an actual knight, so that Will now has the opportunity to step out and put action to his faith and have opportunities that would never have been given to him otherwise. So now, where this movie picks up, Will is an adult. Sir Ector died in the last match, and Will and Roland and Wat are hungry. So what are they gonna do? So Will puts on Sir Ector's armor and finishes the match and wins, and he looks at the prize, and because his faith and vision has been nurtured, he looks at that prize and he's like, guys, we can do this, and we can do so much more than just this. And Will is such a leader that he casts this vision, and as much as it takes some convincing, they willfully follow him. And Will just takes the whole thing by storm. He does training. He comes up with this fake identity, Sir Ulrich van Liechtenstein. Sir Ulrich van Liechtenstein.
Ulrich von Liechtenstein from Gelderland.
Sir Ulrich takes the whole thing by storm. The whole jousting tournament, the sword fighting. I mean, he takes the whole thing by storm, and he takes it by storm because he believes in his heart that he is a knight. In his heart of hearts, he believes it.
You're my favorite knight.
He's won 4 tournaments in a row.
On a horse, that man is unbeatable.
And you know, this isn't egotistical. I mean, I can look at this movie and see that this is not self-centered, this is not egotistical, this is not Will thinking more of himself than he should. And the reason I can look at this movie and say that is because of the fruit his life is producing. He has true, genuine friends. And they're not just there for the money, because they're there for Will when the cards are down, when you get towards the end of the movie and everything's looking bad. When things are bad, they are still standing beside him because they love him. So right there, we know he's already producing some really good fruit in his life. Another place we see good fruit in his life is he's a dude who shows mercy. When you have Edward, the Black Prince of Wales, disguising himself as this knight named Colville so that he can go ahead and participate in these games because nobody wants to hurt a royal. And the first time he and Will face off, nobody knows he's actually the prince, and Will is really good at what he does. And so, you know, the prince is like, okay, yep, I'm done, but I've never not finished before, so can we please keep my honor intact? And Will has mercy, and they go ahead and call it a draw. And then when he faces the Black Prince again, and it's revealed that this is the Black Prince of Wales, it's like, okay, yep, we don't want to hurt a royal. We are surrendering. We are surrendering. But Will looks across and sees the disappointment in his eyes, and he understands this guy, disguising himself just like Will is, so that he can compete and do what he really loves doing. So Will goes ahead and just competes with him, and in that moment earns Prince Edward's respect, and that is such a great scene. And then on top of it, you have the whole love story with him and Jocelyn. And the thing that's powerful about that scene is when that's put to the test, and he tells Jocelyn he'll win this match for her, and she's like, what? Everybody promises to do that. It's never for me. It's always for their own ego. They just throw my name in there. If you want to show me this is true self-sacrificial love, then lose for me. And that goes against everything in him, but you know what? He did it. I mean, he ended up winning that because she said, okay, you've taken a lot of punishment. I see you love me. Please win. Great scene. Point is it shows that, man, he really loved her, and it was sacrificial love because he was willing to sacrifice for her. So we see from the fruit of his life, he's got a good heart and he's got a fantastic self-image, and it's awesome. But when you have that right self-image, you can always bet there's going to be an enemy that rises up to try to smack that down. And in this movie, that comes in the form of Count Adamar. That is a terrific villain name. Count Adamar first goes through the attack of humiliation. When he first meets Will, or Sir Ulrich, he makes fun of him in his bad armor in front of Jocelyn. They're at a ball. He goes, why don't you show us a dance from your homeland? Just to try to throw him off and make him look stupid in front of everybody. I mean, that's the first thing he's trying to do, is pick on those insecurities and embarrass him. But when that doesn't work and Sir Ulrich continues to persevere through all of this, well, he's got to have a different tactic, and that next tactic is to go after the identity of Sir Ulrich. And I found that true in my life, that, you know, when I get a good self-image, there always seems to be an enemy in my soul that wants to smack that down. So when I make an honest mistake, and it is a mistake nonetheless, the enemy will bring to me the truth of that mistake, for sure. But then the enemy attaches meaning to that mistake. And that meaning is, see what this mistake is? It's proof positive. It's evidence that my case against you is right, that you're stupid, that you're dumb, that you can't do this. Stop. And I'm being honest with you. Things like that, I've had that. It sucks. I do not like it at all. And we see that happen in this movie. He goes for Sir Ulrich and finds out, oh, he's really Will Thatcher. He's a nobody. He's a commoner. So he gets Will arrested. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is when his identity gets revealed, and they're trying to tell him, run, Will. If you go to the stadium, they're going to arrest you. You need to run. His best friends, his closest confidants, 100% agreement, run, Will. But he won't do it. He won't run.
No! I will not run! I'm a knight.
And I love that scene because it's just in that moment where his voice cracks, where he's just, the raw emotion is there. You see that this guy, Will, knows with all of his heart that he's a knight. And a knight doesn't run. He knows what a knight is. He believes he's a knight, so he's going to do what a knight does. So he goes and he faces his arresters and he gets arrested. Will did lie. That was a mistake. But now he's taking that mistake and he's ripping apart his identity.
You have been weighed. You have been measured. And you have been found wanting.
He's hitting Will exactly where it hurts. He's not just taking his Sir Ulrich identity, he's taken everything that he believes in and he's trying to stomp on it. He's basically saying that you're stupid. You're stupid for striving to touch a star. You're stupid to think you can rise above your station. You're stupid to think you could go against the rules. You're stupid. Stop it. What world could you have ever beaten me? These are the words that are spoken to Will. But God is not mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Will had earned this respect of Prince Edward. And when Will was in the stocks, Prince Edward releases him and actually knights him. Now, everybody actually sees what he believed about himself from the beginning. They see the full truth of who he is. He is Sir William Thatcher. And even when Count Adamar cheats and puts a spike on the tip and greatly wounds Will. And Will can't even wear his armor anymore because he can't breathe. He can't even hold the lance, so he has to have his friend tie his hand to the lance so that he won't drop it. He's in so much pain. But he knows he's a knight. He knows what a knight would do. So he does what a knight would do. I mean, that belief in him is strong. And so, of course, it brings him this victory. He defeats Adamar. And that's one of the things I just love about this movie. Now, knowing that verse, as a man believes in his heart, so is he. Can you imagine if he just believed he was a commoner? Can you imagine if he believed he could never change his stars or change his destiny or grow or anything like that? Can you imagine where he would be? It wouldn't be in that stadium, it wouldn't be competing, and he wouldn't be Sir William. But no, he got it in his heart who he was. He got that image of himself. And no matter who fought it, no matter who disagreed with it, he knew who he was, he believed it with all of his heart, and he pursued it. So in this picture, Will refused to believe that he was a nobody. And in his heart, he believed he was a knight, and then he acted on that faith. And if I was going to look at that in my life, I believe I'm a follower of Christ. And in believing that, then I need to act on that. And in acting on that, it makes me question things. Things like this common Christian saying, oh, I'm just a sinner and I'm saved by grace. I mean, it sounds beautiful and humble and all, but it feels like it's placing the identity as the identity of a sinner. It's me saying, oh, I'm just a nobody, and he just happened to take some notice of me. It's like, really? But is that what he actually says? Because I feel like there's places in the Bible where he says in that relationship with him, I am a brand new creation. The old has passed away and the new has come. In other words, my identity is no longer in that nobody mentality. My identity is I'm a new creation. What does that even mean? Well, he uses phrases like, you are more than a conqueror. So there are some fascinating phrases that as we dig deep into that and believe what he says about us, I feel like that could change an awful lot of things and an awful lot of circumstances. If you saw A Knight's Tale, what did you think of this movie? Be sure to let me know in the comments. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know. While you're there, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbania. Next to the subscribe button is that bell. Click that bell. That way you're notified the moment I drop new videos and all kinds of fun stuff like that. Please like and share this video. I'm Durbin. Thank you so much for checking out Durbania.